Summary: The Automatic Millionaire by David Bach. Key insights. Millionaire. It's a word that conjures images of sprawling mansions and colorful yachts, of snow-capped French chateaus and $500 bottles of wine, table service style. The term millionaire connotes a pipe dream for many and reality for a select few. We spend our lives thinking that in order to achieve this highly sought-after outcome, we would need to find a cure for cancer or discover the 8th continent. But what if there was another, simpler way? The Automatic Millionaire looks underneath the tightly fastened lid of wealth and examines what it really takes to achieve millionaire status through practical, deliberate steps. Let's say it louder now for those in the back. Who wants to be a millionaire? Small amounts add up. If you're one of the many Americans with an annual income hovering around $40,000 or less, you're not prohibited from becoming a millionaire. In fact, it is entirely feasible to achieve millionaire status from meager means, so long as you are smart in your investment and budgeting strategies. Consider Jim and Sue McIntyre. The couple relied on a key philosophy in their financial endeavors. You can either work for your money or make your money work for you. Early in their marriage, the McIntyres began saving. Initially, they were saving 4% of every paycheck, eventually increasing this to 15%. Over time, thanks to compound interest accruing, the value of the McIntyres' funds increased exponentially. While Jim McIntyre had never earned a salary of more than $40,000 in a single year, the couple had a net worth of $2 million by the time they were in their early 50s. This concept of getting rich gradually over time has a name: the latte factor. Unless you're a Starbucks aficionado, your average latte probably costs around $3.50. Say you get one every single day. You're then looking at a total cost of more than $1,200 per year. Let's say you decide to start skipping the lattes and set that money aside each day, plus an additional $6.50, totaling $70 per week. This simple adjustment would leave you with more than $700,000 in 30 years' time and almost $2 million in 40 years. Pay yourself first. Taxes, rent, insurance. Most of the time, these life expenses are unavoidable. Once we pay for each line item, we can then set the rest of our paycheck aside for spending money, right? Wrong. Here is where we need to reverse our logic. Rather than paying for the necessities and then setting aside money for personal expenses, Bach recommends paying yourself first. This can take the form of a pre-tax retirement account. With a pre-tax retirement account, you're directly depositing money into a savings account, and because your money will only get taxed once you withdraw it, you will likely be saving significantly. Chances are the account will be taxed at a lower rate than the one your current income incurs. Therefore, you will have more money now. Let's say you make an annual income of $50,000. If the rate of taxation is 30%, you are then left at a net income of 35%. Then, hypothetically, you put aside the $5,000 to go towards retirement. You then have $30,000 in the end. Or you can approach this differently. You can first take the $5,000 out of your annual income and put it in a pre-tax retirement fund. This $5,000 will come directly from your $50,000 salary, leaving you with $45,000 to spare. Then, when you are taxed at the 30% rate, you will then have $31,500, rather than $30,000 in the end. By simply changing the order of your financial procedures, you can save a ton of money on tax. Emergency Fund. If the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us nothing else, it has served as a harsh reminder that there are no guarantees in life, especially in terms of job security and health crisis. So, while it is not advisable to spend all of our time scrutinizing over endless what-if scenarios, having a simple emergency fund in place can be life-saving, sometimes literally, in a tight situation. Americans do not like to plan for emergencies, though. The average person in this country has 3 months' worth of savings saved up and nothing more. This is why you see communities reeling when the prospect of widespread unemployment emerges. In the end, a choice must be made. How much are you willing to pay for peace of mind? Bach recommends that with each paycheck you receive, you set aside 5%. Don't forget, this is also on top of what you are already putting away for retirement. And make sure that you are leaving this emergency fund in the hands of a reputable financial institution rather than the tin can in your backyard. Money market accounts are reliable and thus are often ideal for emergencies. Owning versus renting. It is an age-old debate, renting versus owning. While both options have their appeal, homeownership is by far the more financially beneficial choice. Why? Take a look. Owning. You pay a monthly mortgage, and by doing so, you build up equity over time. Equity can then be tapped into when you're selling your house, consolidating debts, or even planning for retirement. You can become equity rich when you have 50% equity in your home. Renting. You pay a monthly rent, which is often comparable to the cost of a mortgage, and you do not end up with anything to show for it. Often, the money you're paying in rent goes directly to the landlord who owns the property, and you become stuck in a cycle where you have to keep renting because you're unable to make the leap to owning a home. The benefits of owning a home rather than renting are mostly seen in the long term, so it is important to focus on the future when you're making this life-altering decision. And if you do go the homeownership route, which will land you a monthly mortgage payment most likely, be sure that you're careful in determining what kind of mortgage is right for you. For instance, when low interest rates are common, it is the ideal time to use a fixed-rate mortgage. You can even set your plan up in such a way where you are able to make automatic bi-weekly payments through your bank. Credit card debt. The average American household has approximately $8,400 in credit card debt. This will take more than 20 years to pay off if you're paying the minimum amount each month. Why? It all comes down to interest. Interest rates for credit cards can be as high as 18%. In the long term, if you don't quickly pay back what you owe, you will end up paying double what you originally spent. For instance, if you cover $1,000 of expenses with your credit card and you pay it off only applying for minimum payments, you will ultimately end up paying a total of $2,300, more than twice what you spent. In addition to paying off your credit card debt, you will want to renegotiate your debt as well, if you can. If you call your credit card provider and tell them you're planning on switching to a different company, they will often offer you a lower interest to incentivize you to stay. And if you have debts that are spread over multiple accounts, it is also worth seeing if you can have them consolidated into one place. A good practice for balancing your saving and spending habits is dividing your paycheck in half. The first half goes towards becoming a millionaire, and the second half goes toward paying off your debts. With this approach, you're thinking about both the future and the past. Automatic charity account. As much as you are concerned about your financial well-being, it is equally important to consider the economic security of others. In this vein, consider a donation. Let's return to the McIntyres, who were introduced earlier in the text. In addition to setting aside money for retirement and savings each paycheck, the McIntyres put aside 1% of their earnings for charity each time they were paid. This way, while they were growing their own empire, the McIntyres were also helping others. Just be sure that when you are donating to charity, you're giving money to a reputable organization, and you know exactly what purpose the money you're donating will serve. An added bonus of donating is that your donation is tax deductible. For every dollar you give, you're actually spending less money overall once you have accounted for taxes. The main takeaway. The Automatic Millionaire breaks down a seemingly daunting task, achieving the coveted status of a millionaire without winning the Nobel Prize or developing a new vaccine. Instead, Bach's 12th book provides a detailed examination of credit card debt, pre-tax retirement accounts, philanthropy, savings plans, the benefits of homeownership, and investing, all as tools for maximizing profit based on a few simple, fiscally savvy decisions. You don't have to make complicated choices to hit it rich, just economically pragmatic and intelligent ones.
Hi, I'm Rhonda, and this is an exclusive audiobook video recorded for the Audiobook Master Channel. Enjoy your audiobook and have fun learning. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you'll get updated on our next upload. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up and say your thoughts about the book we just covered. Do you want to listen to a summary or review of a book that we haven't covered in the past? Say it in the comments below or send us a message. Don't forget to check our other uploads. Enjoy listening!